What is going on? Welcome back. Third and 20 podcast, episode 81. My name is Frank Gensel. We got my main man, Mr. Steed. Steed, how you doing, dude?
Bob, I'm doing good. Currently in a severe winter storm. I mean, for you and fellow Northerners, this is probably just, your classic little October day. But, we're in the midst of January. Going to get some snow tonight, looking 1 to 3 inches. Let's go, dude.
No, we haven't really seen too much snow here in the Northeast. At least I haven't. In Jersey. So like we've been kind of chilling. I mean, we've seen a little bit, but nothing crazy. But we got a long way to go still. Um, Speaking of things that
Wow.
we're currently in, I know you're in it. We're in a heater. We're in a
Yeah,
heater.
dude. Last week was crazy because,
You
like,
went
personally,
five and
where did I
one
go
last
last
week on the
week?
picks. 5-1,
Five.
and you said you went 6-0, right, on your personal book. I'm assuming that's what you're gonna say.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah, I went 6-0 because I took the spread for every game. It was crazy, dude. I was like first game, a little bit of a sweat there because Derek Carr was about to do Derek Carr things and come back there. Got away with that one. Going to the nightcap, I was actually really confident the Bills were covered at 4.5. I didn't think they would score a touchdown to every drive. That was pretty insane, you know. Um, you knew the Bucks were beating the shit out of the Eagles. Like, okay, it's the same thing like last year
Yeah.
when the Bears made the playoffs, just not a good team. And then you go in, and there's going to be one dog that always wins on Wild Card Week, or now known as Super Wild Card Weekend. And it was going to be the 49ers. It was always going to be the 49ers. Listen, the 6 seed in the NFC has beaten the 3 seed since 2017 now, every single year. Kind of crazy stat. I think the first trend, Falcons beat the Rams when we were a 6 seed after the Super Bowl, and then just after that, like you have the Eagles beat the Bears, and then so on and so on. So it's kind of like and if you're in the NFC, you want that 6 seed. So
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm trying to look up 2020 wild card playoffs. What was it last year? Can't remember.
it was Rams Seahawks, right? Rams beat the Seahawks in Seattle.
Yes, you're right. The Rams did beat the Seahawks. You know what was confusing me was that the 6 seed in 2017 was the last seed, and now the
Yeah,
7 seed last year. I was like, wait a minute, because I was like, are we talking about Chicago, New Orleans, or are we talking about a different game? That was funny. I'm actually
no, the
kicking
true
myself
six
a little
seed.
bit for not taking the Bucks because I mean hindsight's 2020, but I mean, we've said it probably like 7 times on the pick side of the podcast. I am not a guy that likes taking the spread, especially I just in general. I actually would probably rather take a favorite, but man, that's just what the Bucks do, especially in must-win games. Is that they just beat the crap out of teams that they are clearly better than, right? Like it's
Yeah,
been the trend ever since last season, halfway through when they really started churning on all cylinders. They've basically beaten every team that they're better than, right? Like on paper and in just kind of every facet that they're better than the Eagles, and they showed why. They kicked the crap out of them.
yeah. I mean, the Bucks. There's like two teams they struggle against, right? It's like, well, really one team we know for a fact it's the Saints. It doesn't matter
Yes.
if you got fucking. I'm trying to think of a really bad quarterback. You got Nathan Peterman
Yeah,
playing
but
for the
that's because the
Saints, dude.
defense
Like
and
they're gonna beat them.
people have been completely underrating the Saints defense for a while now. I mean, that to me is a top 5 group in the league, especially when healthy. Um
Yeah,
Example A
especially
is that
this year too.
they're just able to play coverage. They're able to play coverage, and they both have a good pass rush and have really good coverage players. So like, and their linebackers are ridiculously fast and good. Um, like all 3 levels, they pass checks. They're able to beat you in multiple ways. So if their secondary's having a rough day, well, their front seven is good. If their front seven is having a rough day, well, they can rely on the secondary, right? Like they have so many options. Their offense just
Mhm.
crap the bed. We need to get into picks though. I don't know what we're talking about here. Um, the board this week is really interesting because I was much more confident in the board last week. I think the results of our picks show I went 3-1 last week. You went 5-1, like we just said. I am not a huge fan. I actually need to check the line of my first pick because we've abolished dog of the week for the playoffs. I'm not sure if everyone knows that,
Yeah.
but we did that. We called that out last week. So no dog of the week for the playoffs.
I still took a dog of the week last week though.
Yes,
Low
you did
key.
take a dog of
Got
the week. Steed, I want to run this by you. What do you think of Rams Bucks under 48?
Dude, like
You want me to
total,
sell you on it?
dude, that it's going under.
Well, here's my reasoning. That Bucks offensive line is really hurt. Right? You're going to have a
Yeah,
hurt Wirfs, and
versus
Jensen is not going to be playing, which are their two best linemen, in my
yeah,
opinion. That Rams pass rush is good. And the players outside of Aaron Donald and Von Miller are very under guys like Oshawn Robinson
Leonard
have
Floyd.
he plays really well. Yeah, like all these guys up front for the Rams, they were having a field day last week. Um, if that continues again, I think that they're gonna just have a really good matchup and a good time against a struggling Bucks offense. I mean, struggle. There were points in that game against
Against
the
the
Eagles
Eagles.
that they did. It's just the Eagles' offense was sucking ass, and they turned the ball over a bunch of times. So, like, obviously, it's Tom Brady; he's going to score, but there was definitely little holes in the armor, right? Little chinks in the armor of what a lot of people think is the best NFC team. And then on the other side, if the Rams can't run the ball against what I think is the best run defense in football, and I think the stats might agree with me,
Yeah, it definitely does.
is
The
Stafford
Saints.
going to be able to move the ball against a good pass rush and a good Bucks defense? There's definitely some question marks there if the Rams aren't able to run it because that matchup last week with the Rams, right? They're just, dude, that running game was going wild. They had like probably around 200 rushing yards with two running
Yeah.
backs having good days. Like,
Yeah, Cam Akers' first game back looked like a beast.
the Cardinals just didn't really have any answers. And at that point, like, a lot of people can pass. And obviously, Matthew Stafford, a good NFL quarterback, is going to. But now we go and you have a loaded front seven for the Bucks, right? I mean, Vita Vea himself is just a one-man run stopper. You have him, you're at least at minimum average in run defense. Just one guy. Um,
Okay.
the line started, I think, at 48 and a half. It's now 48, which kind of stinks. I actually really want that half a point, but I think I'm still gonna take it here.
See, this is the thing I have with this under. Like, it's a good number for the under. I think. Like, anywhere, like you look at the Bills Chiefs game, I think that number's at 54. A lot of people are going to go under on that game. I see that game going more over.
Same.
48-49 is where you get into like a fringe where people tend to go, they tend to lean one side, right? And I always want to go under on these numbers because, and especially now, look at the Bucks offense. It's it's not like the first time they played, right? Where it was a high scoring game, and I still think the Rams beat their ass, but that was in LA. But there's no Godwin, there's no AB, and Mike Evans is going to be on the island with Jalen Ramsey, so it
And
has to open
Fournette,
up
is he
holes for
playing?
like
I don't think Fournette's playing
I
either. I think he might
yeah
be like a
I
game
don't think
timer,
he
right?
is.
So
Yeah, I
if you
think
have
he's a
no
game time
Fournette too,
safety, but
like you're gonna rely on. They had Keyshawn Vaughn, who looked all right at times. Who was the other? There was another running back for them that was playing well. Um,
wasn't
it,
Ronald
it wasn't
Jones, was
Ronald
it?
Jones, was it?
I can't
Who
remember. That
was
game was
it?
so boring.
Was it Is that Gio Bernard? I think it was. Is it him?
Okay.
Yeah, Giovanni Bernard. I mean, he didn't have a great day. 13 carries, 44 yards. I mean, he had a touchdown. Was used in the receiving game a little bit. 5 catches, 39 yards. So I mean, 85 yards. That's good output. Second leading receiver.
Yeah. Well, and And then on the other side, like if you look at the Rams defense, how they played against the Cardinals, and it's not like like Kyler was playing at his level the past 2 months. Like the Cardinals really fell off. They were struggling for weeks. And they had a shot to win the division last week. They choked against the Seahawks, who were god awful this year. And their best win the last couple of weeks were to the Cowboys, but we just saw the Cowboys get knocked out as home favorites. So I kind of do like the under in this. I think this is where two defenses could just go at it, and I think it's a race to 20. And which is weird to say because when we think about the Bucks and the Rams, like especially now, is we think of two high profile offenses that can really run it up and score 30 points any given day, which could very well happen still. But given the history of this Bucks defense in the playoffs, especially last year, their performance last week, and the way they trend, it just seems like they got a great unit built for the playoff defense. And then on the other side with the Rams, like, I mean, you got the best D line in the league. Well, maybe number two now. And then you got the best corner in the league. It comes, dude, I kind of do want to tell you on this, and I am. I'm going to
You
tell
in?
you on the under
Okay, we're
48.
in.
Yeah.
All right, so you gotta. What's your next pick here?
I'm gonna go with a game that, and a team that no one's talking a lot about is they got the fucking 1 seed. I'm gonna go with the Titans minus. Is it still 3.5?
Yes, I'm seeing 3.5 here.
Yeah, I really wanted this number at 3, but I'm gonna risk it for the Titans here. I'm gonna take it minus 3.5. Listen, all the hype is on the Bengals. I get it. Joe Burrow's cool. He's great. They won their first playoff game in forever. Since 1990. It's been a great story, and they're very well in this game. But I think the Titans well rested and just not getting the media attention. There's something when you sleep on teams, and especially they got home field advantage. You get Derrick Henry back. I feel like the focal point of this, and this Bengals secondary is not like great, right? It's not tremendous. Like the Bengals defense has been vastly improved from last year. But like the Titans have a great offense, especially with Derrick Henry in there again now. I think they're going to be able to move the ball. And if this game is tied going to the half, which I could see it being 10-10, 13-10, 13-13, something like that, I think then it falls into the Titans' hands in the second half where they could just drain the clock and win this game by a touchdown. That's what I see the Titans winning by a touchdown. I would also look into a prop that I'm going to probably be on personally. I'm waiting for the line, but I'm looking for Julio Jones over in receiving yards. I think a lot of attention is going to be A.J. Brown. I think Julio gets a little busy, and this is why they got Julio, right? They want to make the playoff push. They got that second receiver to go along to A.J. Brown. I think he makes a little headway here in this playoff game. I like the Titans. I had the Titans in the conference championship, and I'm going to keep rolling with them.
Okay, Julio Jones, I'm seeing on DraftKings over 3.5 receptions. Receiving yards, I'm seeing 44.5. And that 44.5 is at minus 130, the other at minus 115 on DraftKings. I can go check FanDuel because you usually get better odds. So if you want to take that, you're going to just have to give me a minute. Are you going to take it here?
I think this should be my first prop play. Right?
First prop. Okay. Welcome. Welcome to the
Yeah,
prop
I'll
game.
take it. Give me the who. Give me the who. Over 44.5 Julio Jones receiving yards.
Hold on. I'm checking for. So on FanDuel, receiving yards is 47.5, but at minus 113. So you get three more. You have to cover 3 more yards, but you get a minus 17 relief. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, I see the math. Man, he's definitely going to end up with 47. Um, you know what? I'm confident enough. Julio gets 47.5. I want the better odds. I don't want to be
Okay.
laying that much juice.
Julio Jones, you're getting it at over 47.5. minus 113.
Hopefully he doesn't get hurt.
Let me denote you as Steed for these bad boys. So that's interesting because I'm seeing here on I'm using Pick Watch, which isn't great. Actually, let me sort by everyone. I'm seeing Bengals at 53% of the public is on the Bengals. I actually thought more people would be on the Bengals than that. Let me see. I didn't
No,
include
is that on
everyone.
the spread or is that on
On
the
the
spread or
spread.
the
Okay,
money line?
54% on the spread. No, money line is about 60-40. Um, I feel like every single person I've talked to is on the Bengals, which gives me a little bit of a scare because this is a home playoff game for a Titans team that, kind of like you were saying, no one's talking about it. They're a much better football team than they are getting credit for.
Well, you know what they remind me, and they're not as talented as this team, but like it reminds me of when the Eagles won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. If you remember, they were the one seed. They had the bye coming into that game. Now Ryan Tannehill's much better than Nick Foles, but again, we got to give Nick Foles credit during this run. They were underdogs in their first playoff game against the Falcons, and it was kind of like nobody was talking about them just because they didn't have like that big guy, but they proven all year that they were a great team. They were the best team in their conference. I think that's the same kind of trend here with the Titans. Now the Titans could go out there and choke this up, but I mean recently, especially under Vrabel, this team performs well in the playoffs. I mean, they lost last year to the Ravens, okay, but that was a close game. It was like 17-14. And then 2 years ago, they go from a 6 seed all the way to the AFC Championship. So I just think Vrabel just outcoaches Zach Taylor here. He gets it done. He's great at clock management. You get your Derrick Henry back. He's a monster. Ryan Tannehill is his beast. All he has to do is not turn over the ball, you know? And their defense has played exceptionally well this year. That's been the biggest bright spot in some points when Derrick Henry wasn't there. You know, they had to win the games like against the 49ers when they had to come back in the second half. I like them here.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stay away from this game. I was initially thinking about taking the Bengals, especially because the Bengals do fit the general strategy it's gotten me here, right? Dogs money line, but I am not a huge fan of dogs money line in the playoffs, though. At least not all of them. I'm gonna be
It's got to
going
feel
with
right.
I'm gonna be going with a prop. I'm going back to the anytime touchdown. I put a good amount on Mr. Gronkowski to score last week, and that happened to pan out, which I'm happy about. I'm going with a very similar line here. I'm going Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown score plus 120. Um,
Okay, I like that.
I
Damn.
just think this is a little bit underpriced, to be honest. He scored in the last matchup they played in, even though I only think he caught like a couple of balls. In the AFC Championship last year, he didn't have a great day. But the thing is, to me, is that I feel like the Bills know this, right? Like the Bills know, okay, we haven't been able to get our best player involved in the game a ton. I mean, they kicked the shit out of him last time because all the other guys were scoring. But I think this
Yeah.
week, this game, Stephon Diggs does what he did last week, and not last week, the last time these two teams played. He scores. This he is the focal point of this offense. They pass the ball a ton, and it's only a 2 game sample size, one of which he scored, one of which he didn't. I just feel like people are pricing as if the AFC Championship game last year is going to happen again. I think there's going to be a lot of points flying around in this one. So Stephon Diggs at plus 120 to score, the Bills' top scorer, I believe. I'm going to take it in touchdowns. I mean, Dawson Knox actually might be ahead of him. I'm going to check that.
He scored what the first two touchdowns. I was actually on Dawson Knox first touchdown scorer in the Bills Pats game.
I was thinking about throwing him in a touchdown prop as well because I'm pretty sure he scored twice in their last matchup.
Yeah, he scored the first two touchdowns. I was like, dude, he's just gonna get like 4 touchdowns this game.
Okay, no, Stephon Diggs does lead them in touchdowns. He has one more than Knox, 10-9.
Mm.
I mean, if you want Dawson Knox anytime touchdown score is plus 180.
I don't know. Like this game kind of scares me in all aspects. You know, like I think this is one game where the pub has to be on the Bills. I feel
Yes, they are.
so. I love the Bills. I and the bracket I made for this playoff pool that I did. I had the Bills beating the Chiefs, but if I have to put money on it, I don't want to bet against Mahomes. I don't know what's going to happen in that game.
Yeah, I'm trying to see some of the other prop lines. Man, I just feel like a lot of these Bills guys, it's almost like no one knows who's going to get the ball, so they're all at good value. Whoever you think is going to get the ball, and to me,
Yeah.
I think Stephon Diggs is. I think he's the guy. Yeah, I'm trying to look. All right, you have another pick, or you want me to get into one here? Because I think I have another pick that I'm just going to send.
I think I have three more picks that I'm going to just fucking put out there.
All right, what do you got? You go
I'm
first.
going to. This is going to be like we're not doing dog of the week, but it's going to be like kind of my dog of the week. I'm taking Rams plus 2.5. I'm taking Rams money line, and this is why. I hate betting against the goat here. I really do, but I just think they're too banged up on the Bucks. I know it's home, and I know more of the public's on probably the Rams, so this might be just like a me chasing the dragon with them. But I like the Rams have bought in, right? They traded all these first round picks to get all these top tier players. Like they went out and got Stafford, get that quarterback, get him over the edge. Like this has to be their time, right? They have to make a move now. You're gonna have to go through Brady and Rodgers anyways. Dude, you're gonna have to beat them. And this is like the perfect storm to beat Brady, Because last year coming into the playoffs, the Bucks were fully healthy. I mean, AB, Godwin, Mike Evans, playoff Lenny, and then their defense, and then their O line. With Worst banged up, the Steelers not there. I'm sure like they got some guys that can fill in, but it has to take a step back a little bit. We've seen this Bucks defense, Bucks offense, when there's consistent pressure on Brady. Maybe it's tough for them to move the ball, and especially with not that many weapons, you're gonna have to get like a Scotty, what's his name, Scotty Miller, fast little white dude,
Yeah,
and a
or
Tyler
Tyler
Johnson and all
Johnson.
of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna have to get them involved. I don't know those. They're just unproven to me.
you
Even though
don't
Scotty
even have
Miller caught a
Brashad Perryman.
huge touchdown. Yeah, so I'm gonna take the bait. I just think the Rams are more healthy. I think they come into Tampa and they cover and take this one and they march on to the NFC Championship.
Mr. Steed, Mr. Steed, Mr. Steed. I'm not gonna lie, I am right there with you. I'm gonna be
It
taking
makes
the
too
bait
much
as well.
sense, right?
I'm trying to find the
Like
bait
it,
image. Hold on, let me get the bait here.
I like the only reason why the Bucks are not favored in this game, right, is because they have Tom Brady. And people say like don't bet against Brady, but like remember Brady's last game when he played the Titans in the playoffs, right? Like the Titans were underdogs coming in that, but they were a sneaky team. They'd been playing hot. And we knew this wasn't Brady's best Patriots team. And we know like this Bucks team is definitely better than that Patriots team, but it's just that they're banged up, and I don't know if these new faces get it done, get it done for him, because he's going to need help. You're playing the Rams, they're no slouch. They already beat you before, you know. Now this could be the same kind of Super Bowl effect where Brady goes out there and just dominates against a team he just lost to, but I don't see that happening.
Well, I think fact of the matter is this is a close game. I think this is going to be a close football game, but I am getting very similar vibes to that. You remember that Peyton Manning, was it Peyton? Yeah, that one of the later Manning Brady games where Brady's offensive line for the Patriots was just trash that season, and I mean Brady was still phenomenal, and he was still Tom Brady making plays. Is that the Peyton? No, that's a scrappy dog. Um, but I just think that the pass rush for the Rams is going to be too much. And for a lot of the reasons, like Mike Evans and Gronk are still good weapons, but man, that you got Jalen Ramsey to take out Mike Evans, and
Yeah.
Gronk could be a problem. I might be on a Gronk to score again prop because dude, Gronk in the playoffs is just so good. I'm actually going to check that line right now. But I'm right there with you.
It's
I'm going to take
probably
the bait on the Rams. I've been all in on the Rams, so I'm going to keep taking them. I have them to win the Super Bowl. I got a little future on them. I'm going to take them basically every freaking week. Like I am all in on the
yeah.
Rams.
Well, like my thing of taking dogs in the playoffs, it's just got to feel right. You know, you got to like the matchup. You got to, like if you look at like the 49ers last week, they're the only dog that won and covered. Like that felt right. Yeah, the Niners are a scary team. The Rams are an underdog. They're a scary team. Now, a lot of people could say, well, what about the Bills? I mean, they're an underdog. They just scored every drive. I the Chiefs look pretty damn impressive too. Like they got a little bit of slow start, but once they got things turning, they look like the old Chiefs, and that's what scares me about the Bills game and why I'm not taking anything in that game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I got one more bet, but I'll let you go.
Well, I'm thinking about taking Gronk plus 100 because initially I didn't love it, but I'm seeing Mike Evans to score is minus 125, where it's like if I were to take a bet strip, who I think is going to score, I'd take Gronk over Evans. I feel like.
Yeah, I would too. I would too. I just think Mike Evans might have a tough day.
Yeah, well, the other thing too is I just think that people act like Gronk is washed when if you look at the games that actually matter, he still plays really well. He's still good. Like even if he's not
Oh yeah.
prime Gronk levels, like god damn, he's definitely one of the top. I think he plays at a top 5 level in the league right now. When he's actually playing and he's out there and the game matters, this guy's a top 5 tight end still.
I think it's because, and the reason why I think people think Gronk is a little lost is that he took that year off, right? And then he just really wanted to play for Brady. And dude, he's still relatively young. Like I think a lot of people think of it like he's old man Tony Gonzalez out there or something. Like, isn't this dude only like 30 something? Like 31? Like not that old. He's still built extremely well. You know.
Oh wait, plus 100. This is an anytime touchdown score for Stephon Diggs. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I've got some units to play with. Why the fuck not? I was
Yeah,
thinking about
dude,
going
play
with
with it.
another first score, even though I'm gonna keep getting boned on these first scores. I just find them fun. I love it. Makes the beginning of the game even more hype.
Yeah, no, I like doing that too. Like, I mean, if I'm looking for first scorer, what about a little Higby? You know,
Higby,
Higby do something. Yeah,
Higby.
Higby. I was on Higby on the Monday night game. It was actually conversing with the Schmoo because I was like, I'm taking Higby, and he took
That's one of
OBJ,
our
so
friends.
he
For
bet.
people who don't know,
Oh yeah, real name's Brennan, I guess. But yeah, he took OBJ. I took Higby. Higby should have scored. If he would have broke that tackle, he would have got in. But I don't know. I think it's just the first touchdown. First of all, is always kind of hard to navigate because like you got to choose between the two teams, right? And you usually lean to the team that you think is going to win, right? So like I would lean Rams, but sometimes you get boned, like the Steelers, for example. Like if you took Steelers defense to score first touchdown, that's like plus 2,300, right? But I would have thought Chiefs would have scored first, so I would probably take Kelsey. Like that's just one thing also.
you want to know what I'm looking at here? I might take a first quarter
Jam
spread.
makers for the
I might
Rams.
go with a first quarter spread. Um, I feel like the Titans are going to be out ready to play. I don't want to. I don't want to go against them in the first quarter. But yeah, this Rams Buccaneers. What if is there a spread in this first quarter total? Do we not have any first quarter spreads? Come on.
You know, if
I
we're
thought we
talking
lived.
about quarters and halves, first half Packers might be a move.
Yeah, but I'm looking for a juicy dog. That's what I want. I want a dog.
Yeah, then your play's probably the Rams.
Rams plus
Because
one is minus 150. That hurts.
that's a lot of juice.
Yeah, I don't know. What is your last pick? Let's just get into your last pick because I'm still kind of on
All right.
teetering.
I'm on this now because I took a future personally on the Packers to win the Super Bowl.
What?
I hope the line's still this. What?
Yeah, okay, timeout. What do you mean what? For the past however long, I mean not really recently, but the whole first year of the pod, it was the Packers are fraud, Aaron Rodgers is a
Yeah,
fraud,
they're
all the fraud talk. And
yeah.
now you took a future on them to win the Super Bowl?
I took it back when they beat the Cardinals. I got it plus 800. That was the best value I could get right then.
Why? Are the Packers
I don't think it's that shocking. Well, I bought into the team, right? Like their defense with drafting Eric Stokes and then you got Jair Alexander on the side, like their second, and then you got Amos up top. Their secondary's sick, okay?
It's
And
savage
then
too.
and then the emergence of Devon Campbell, that has to be like the one of the best 1 year deals of all, like of recent because he's played like a top 5 linebacker in the league. Then they get their pass rush is healthy. He gets Darius Smith and the other Smith. They come back, you know.
Oh, Zadarius Smith is coming back here.
I believe so. What I read on, but you know, the reason why I kind of thought the Packers were frauds in the past, and they were. Like I was right, is that I thought their defense was too inconsistent, and Rodgers didn't have enough weapons. I think Rodgers right now, you know, you got Devontae Adams, and then I think AJ Dillon is a great complement to Aaron Jones, so they have a nice running game. But I'm more of a believer in their defense now. So I took it way back when it was plus 800. Now they're like the favorite at plus 300 or something like that. So great value, but I don't know. I just think it's something special on this team. So it's in Lambeau. You know they're going at least back to the NFC Championship. I don't think the 49ers can be road killers twice in a row. Even though they could very well be alive in this game. I mean, I wouldn't want to play the fucking 49ers. I don't know about you. But I'm not sure Nick Bosa's playing. I know Fred Warner was on the sideline. He could have played if he wanted to. But I'm still not sure if he's shaken up. I'm pretty
Wait,
sure
what,
they
what are
have
you
another
taking
D
again?
line.
Is it the spread?
Packers minus 5.5.
Oh my goodness. That is a lot. 5.5?
I see him
I
running
mean,
back
listen, I
this one.
don't necessarily disagree. I'm not, I don't know where to lean in this game. I do because
I'm more confident in this game.
yeah, but you freaking plus 200, man. We've seen what happens. And I might just take the fucking 49ers, even though I don't think they're going to win. I might just go with the 49ers because give me that plus 200.
I mean, yeah, it's a nerve-wracking game. I just feel like a lot of people are going to be on the Niners, you know?
A lot of people, I feel like
And I
everyone's on
just
the Packers.
really because the spread's dropped.
Has it? What was the
It
spread
opened up
originally?
like at 6. It opened up at 6.5, and it dropped to 5.5.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
I mean, listen, this bet can miss. I'm kind of just thinking what I'm seeing, you know? Like, I can just see the Packers winning by 7. Maybe a better bet is Packers first half because you remember when they played earlier this year, Packers were up 17-0 in the first half, and then the 49ers came all the way back. And that's what scares me the most is that, you know, the 49ers in their game against the Cowboys, they got out front early, right? And they got enough points to where, like, yeah, you had a little scare in the end, but, you know, Mike McCarthy's a genius, so you're fine. Other than that, you know, the 49ers have played exceptionally well in the second half. Like, they beat the Rams in the second half. They almost beat the Packers in the second half. You know, like, they're a scary second half team. I don't know, but I'm just kind of rolling
Jimmy
with the Packers,
G
you know?
isn't he banged up though? I really don't want to bet on a injured Jimmy G or Trey Lance.
I mean, everybody's like, yeah, I mean, Trey Lance comes in this game, you can chalk it. But I Bosa can't be playing, right? Like, he got hurt. And
I don't
that's
know. I don't
huge.
know about that. I thought I saw. I mean,
To
I might
what
be
I
making this
saw,
up, but I thought I saw that he was coming in.
I thought he was game time, but I just don't know. Like, But like his whole knee collapsed on him. I don't know. I'm sticking with my pick. I'm confident. Packers are going to win by 7. Final score 27-20.
Should I try and take the correct score on the Bills Chiefs game?
Yeah, dude, do it. What are you thinking?
I don't know. There are quite literally a ton of options.
I mean, yeah, it's every option possible, right? Even from like 3-2.
What about like 38-33?
I like that. Like that. I don't know.
It's not. I can only take 38-34.
What happens if it's 38-33? You just lose your bet.
There's no option for that, unfortunately, which is kind of dumb, but I digress. It's plus 3,100 or 31,000, excuse me.
Plus 31,000 with 3 zeros.
Yep. $1 to win 310.
See what you be up 310 units.
I don't know. What are you thinking? 38-34? Like, I think it could happen. I think it's going to be around
yeah,
there.
it could easily happen. Yeah.
Like, I got some units to play with here. I'm up 13.
Yeah, fight with it. Well, dude, like, if you hit this bet, like, think about this.
It's
You're
gonna
up.
be crazy.
You could just go crazy in the Super Bowl. You could take every bet imaginable out there, and you'll still have like well over 200 units.
Book it, baby. Fucking book it. Chiefs versus Bills. Correct score. And I'm going 38-34. Hey, it's got a nice ring to it, dude. 38-34. I gotta have the line on the next line, the odds on the next line. Plus 31K. Give it to me.
Yeah.
You're right. If this hits, I'm gonna clip this. So like, let's fucking ride. If we're watching this in the future, hell yeah. I am the smartest person ever. Second off, this is fucking happening. I am bought in. This is happening. 38-34. Book it.
Dude, what if it comes down to?
I'm taking the over too.
Dude, what if it's
if I know that this is the score, I might as well take the over as well.
Yeah, you might as well take the over. But unless you want to save a unit, like you can take the under and try to hedge. But you would really be banking
hedge. Why am I gonna hedge when the score is gonna be 38? I know the score. This is like, dude, you want to know what's happening right here? You want to know exactly what's happening right here? This is like, oh, dude, what if you could travel back in time to like, what is today's date? January 21st, 2022. What would you do? And I know exactly what I would do because I'm fucking doing it right now. I know that the Chiefs are going to beat the Bills 38-34. So I'm going to take the correct score and the over. Easy money. I'm putting the house on it. And by the house, I mean 2 units.
What if the score's 34-30? Chiefs or the Bills just score.
No, so I'm going to be pissed if the score is 38-33, what I said earlier. I'm going to be really pissed if that's the score.
Yeah.
Because I would have taken that too.
Message FanDuel. You would just have to message FanDuel and be like, why the hell isn't this a possibility?
Yeah, for real. Give me a little slider bar or something. Come on.
Yeah, honestly. Speaking of bets, and props, you have Deebo Samuel's rushing total?
Give me about 15 seconds.
Okay. Because I took this last week. I think it was like 27.5, might have been 29.5, and it hit by flying colors. They just use them so much.
It's 38.5. And it's minus
dude,
122.
They juiced that. They juiced that. Oh, man. What about Cooper Kupp? Because he had a bad game. Did they, take his shit down? Because, his over-under receiving yards was, 108.5.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking on, I'm going to look on DraftKings really quickly what his line is. Yeah, his line's 38.5 on DraftKings, but it's minus 115. So I guess you save a little bit there. Okay, receiving props, receiving yards. Because I actually like that. I might take some of these. 100.5. So no, he's still up
Okay,
there.
so it dropped 8.
Van Jefferson's up to 35.5, unfortunately. I was gonna see if you could hit him.
Maybe Odell.
Yeah, Odell's at 4. I don't know. I don't know if I trust Odell.
His over hit in the first half last week.
You could go. Can you? No, you can't go rushing and receiving yards. Unfortunately. So you got anything else you're looking at?
I was thinking about Debo, but I don't know. Like now he's creeping up there around the 40s, and I don't want to touch that.
I don't understand these
He was getting
DraftKings specials. I'm seeing this. Devontae Adams 1+ catches. The yes is minus 10,000.
like $10,000. You get a buck for
Yeah,
100.
that's just like not worth taking. That's the real bait. That is the real bait. 100% that's the bait.
But I don't know. Could you add it in a parlay? I don't even know why you would
There's
want to
just
take
no
that.
point of taking it. Minus 10,000. Like, there's probably like, like just the chance of him
What's the
getting
no?
injured. There is no.
Yeah, what's the no?
There is
There's
no.
no.
There's
I would
no
be
no.
like, dude, I just sprinkled the no and see if he gets hurt. Like,
Yeah, right. Like, because that's the thing. It's like, what if he tweaks something in warmups, or like,
yeah.
in the start of the game, just his legs get tangled up with the defender,
Well, then,
out for the game. Your
yeah, then
1+ catches is
The
boned.
Packers are chalked.
Or there's just someone out there
Packers are
who's like,
probably
yeah,
chalked.
I'm gonna put like 10 mil on this and just
I
bag
mean, what does that even pay
100K.
out?
Or is that
100K?
pay out 100K
Really?
or 10K? I don't know. I'm not doing fucking math on here. This is part of my life where I'm supposed to not do math.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it pays out.
Well,
I
if
think it
it's
pays out 10K.
10,000, it's 10,000. Is it plus? See, is it minus 100,000 or 10,000? I honestly didn't check the amount of zeros. I think it's 10,000. So yeah, then it'd be 10,000 to win 100, 100,000 to win 1,000, a mil to win 10,000, 10 mil to win 100,000. Bang.
Okay.
Math.
Nice.
Stonks. All right, you said
It
you had one
sucked.
more pick. What was your
Okay.
last pick? Or did you just say it and I forgot to
It was
type
just
it
the
down?
Packers. It was just Packers minus five
Okay.
and a half.
Did you have anything after that? Were you taking anything on the fly here?
I'm good. Like my card.
And you still have no games to go to overtime. You survived last week. No overtimes at plus 130. So you're kind of out of there on. I mean, that was most games. So now it's all of a sudden. I wonder what the odds would
It
be on
comes
that now
down.
that you just dodged. What was it? 6 games you dodged?
I dodged 6 games. Well, we got 4 this week.
Yeah, 4, 2, 1. So yeah, you have 7 more to go.
Dude, the one game that scares me that could go to OT is Bengals Titans. Like, I can
think
just
so?
see that game going to OT. Yeah, that game or like I think the rest are kind of just figured out on their own. And it's just because the Titans run the ball so damn much.
All right, so I guess the last thing we really have to talk about here is Ben McAdoo got hired by the Carolina Panthers. Ben McAdoo, former Giants head coach and offensive coordinator. He worked with the Packers. I believe he also worked with the Niners. So, like, kind of a classic West Coast kind of a dude. What do you think of this move for the Panthers? I think the general public consensus is like, what the fuck? And they're probably
Yeah.
pretty unhappy. But I mean, in terms of kind of like what most teams are running, especially a lot of the successful ones, I mean, he's right there with them in terms of scheme.
Yeah, I mean, I think he deserves another crack at it, right? Like he's the last coach to take the G-men to the playoffs. Now it didn't equate to anything, but I mean the G-men haven't really sniffed it since.
Yeah, I think
He
he was
might
their
be
OC when they
one
were
of
in the
this.
playoffs. Right? Was it
Who, McAdoo?
2014? Yeah, McAdoo, right? Or was he the head coach?
He was the head coach. He was the head
Was he
coach.
really?
Benny with the good hair. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And they played the
I
Packers
know
in
he
the
had
boat
that one
pick.
disastrous season where he was like, what? They were like 2-14 with a washed Eli Manning.
Yeah, that was terrible. And I think that's the year they drafted Saquon, right?
Yeah, and well, I think
Or
he got
year
canned
at.
in the middle of that season, especially with how he like benched Eli for Geno Smith, which broke Eli's like
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I
that broke
remember that. Yeah,
that Iron Man record.
that was. You just can't do that. And maybe he's a little bit of an asshole.
I mean,
Um,
you're losing
dude,
games.
I listen. It doesn't matter who their OC is. You can have fucking Sean McVay. You could have Shanny. You could have anybody. If they don't get a damn quarterback, you're not going to win with Darnold. You're hell not going to win with Cam Newton. And you're not going to win with PJ Walker. We're not playing the XFL, bud. So until they get the quarterback, they're not going to be able to move the damn ball. They traded for Sam Darnold. It didn't work. You took a leap of faith, and it shot back in your face. All right, then you go back and get Cam Newton. He knows the city. Like Cam Newton, great guy, great player back in his prime. He can't throw the ball. He can't
Yeah.
throw the ball to save his life, which is sad. PJ Walker, I mean, the dude's seeing ghosts out there. I mean, he picked up a little trait from Sam Darnold. I saw PJ Walker play in person. It was horrible. Let me tell you. Other than that, like I mean, they got to be they either got to be in the market for a quarterback or they're gonna pick one up here. They have to have they got to be in the top 8. The Falcons did better than them, so they got to have a top 5 pick. So now who do you go get? Because you're gonna have like one of your first shot. You might have a chance where you pick the first quarterback off the board. And I mean, I haven't really done a full research yet, but I think like I see where Sam Howell's number 1. I don't think he'll go. I've seen Desmond Ritter up there. I think Matt Corral will get some really buzz, but I still think the best quarterback probably in this draft is Kenny Pickett, right? Like
Okay.
just based off like numbers and what he was able to do in like this season of college. He's the one that really did it for me, and it especially at like that ACC championship against Wake Forest. That fake slide he did, like they took it out and said, "All right, quarterbacks can't do that anymore." But it was never a thing because no one's ever done it,
You
So
drafted a guy
that
because of a fake
knowledge,
slide.
I know. I'm saying like it's a
I'm just
trait
busting your
of
balls.
his. Maybe he could think on the fly, Like, dude, you're running at full speed. You got 11 guys running after you. You're a quarterback. You're not the best athlete in the world, and you're thinking of a fake slide. Like, dude, I just think that's really creative and kind of cool. But at the end of the day, like Ben McAdoo, it doesn't matter who the OC is. I don't know if you agree with me, unless they don't have a damn quarterback, and if CMC is going to get hurt every year now, So I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking at Kenny Pickett's numbers. I mean, I need to do more film on Kenny Pickett, but from the bits and pieces I saw watching Pittsburgh occasionally and what I saw from them, like, I mean, the guy looked like he made a lot of throws and liked to stretch the ball down the field, which is two things I really like. I still think right now, for me, QB1 would be Matt Corral. And if they were able to pick up Matt Corral for their offense, I think that could be huge. Really give
Where
them a
would they pick
guy.
him?
I don't know, but I think they're 5.
That sounds
I
right.
think they're sandwiched between the Jets or something like that. Hold
Because
on,
the
let me look
Jags
at
have
it.
number 1 pick, right?
6th pick. Yeah, they're at 6.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they're pick 6. So to be completely honest, I think when push comes to shove and at draft time, there'll probably be one of like let's just say the top 3 quarterbacks are Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett, and Matt Corral. And there's kind of like
I
you
think
know
that's
how there was a
consistent.
debate
Yeah.
for like the not necessarily number 2, but like for a while there was a debate at number 2 until it was kind of leaked that the Jets were going Zach Wilson. Then the debate was for number 3. Um, I think there could legitimately be like another number 2 debate where I think when we get the process going down one of the quarterbacks will emerge as the top dog.
Could be
Maybe
Carson
not. I don't know.
Strong.
The problem with Carson Strong, I was watching a little bit more Carson Strong today. I like Carson Strong. I think he's a good player. The dude just doesn't move well. And it's not that he can't move. It's just he has knee problems, right? And he's just fucking clunky. So I think he could be a good player. He's good off platform, which for a lot of other clunkier quarterbacks isn't great. But I think from the pocket, his mechanics need a little bit of work. He's got the arm talent. He's got a great arm, and I think he's got a good head on his shoulders and whatnot. It's just in terms of risk, the guy's a risky quarterback prospect, and he profiles like your average quarterback bust of the modern century, right? And he still
Nice.
needs to develop to become good. But I don't think that doesn't mean that he's out of it. I think to me though, he's more of like a late first or mid sec somewhere in that range to like that late first to second round kind of a guy with the inherent risk that he has, because I just think that a lot of these coaches, especially the ones that are running a lot of like quarterback bootlegging out of the pocket, dude, I think there's a legitimate concern if Carson Strong can consistently run a lot of those plays at the NFL level. Like, I don't necessarily know, but I think that that's the big concern with him, is that his lack of mobility is just rough, and the knee problems too. It's not even, it's a combination of the two. It's not that he's not mobile, it's that he's not mobile because of the knee problems, it looks like, and he's clunky because of it. And will that be an issue in the league? Especially when these D linemen, I think that's one of the biggest differences. The D linemen are a lot faster and a lot more agile and are just all ridiculous athletes. Like, if you got a bum knee out there, I mean, we've seen plenty of careers in the NFL get absolutely ruined because of bum knees.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I still like him though.
very
I
well.
don't know. I'm very torn on him right now. He's a really tough evaluation because I think he's got a great head on his shoulders and he only needs minor mechanical work in his passing for him to really become like an upper echelon passer of the football. But
Yeah.
it's just not the way the game is headed right now. It's like, okay, well, if he develops into Tom Brady, like, yeah, if any pocket quarterback developed into Tom Brady, they'd be fucking good. Like, don't give me that. Um, so like what? Can he develop into a Carson Palmer? Or even that, Carson Palmer, number one overall pick back in the day. Like, he's fucking good.
Yeah. Maybe not. Time would tell. But I mean, like, the third's got to be in for a quarterback, though, right? You're in the spot where you can pick it. You were in
Yeah,
a
back in
spot
the
last year. We agree with the J.C. Horn pick, but now looking back, what if you pick Mac Jones? You know,
well, yeah, we
maybe
were
you're a year
both
ahead.
on Mac Jones, and I mean, we just had Mac Jones going earlier in all of our mocks than the Panthers picked. So we just never really mocked Mac Jones to the Panthers because he wasn't on the damn board.
Yeah, he's going to the Niners.
Well, I'm trying to look here. All right, so the teams in front, Jacksonville's not taking a quarterback. Now, all these teams though, like there are three teams that could realistically take a quarterback before six, and that's the Lions, Houston, and the Giants. The Jets aren't taking a quarterback. That could be Howell, um, Corral, and Pickett all off the board at those three picks.
One of them will be. I think. I mean, it depends because a lot of them have coaching changes, right? And it's like, all right, do the G-men want to stick with Daniel Jones? Because I could see them being like, we'll give Daniel Jones one more ride, and we'll just pick the best lineman in the draft, right?
Mhm.
Or do the Texans with their new stuff? They come in, you got the Deshaun thing, but we know he's not going to play for the Texans anyways. Do you look at Davis Mills and be like, okay, we might have something with Davis Mills here, the third round pick? Do we look at that?
Yeah, I'm just
And he
interested
was
to
the other
see what
dude.
happens here because if Carolina is very gung ho on a quarterback, obviously they could trade. Jacksonville could easily be a team that moves down to get more draft assets. Um, Detroit and Houston could move down, but like they could also be the guys picking the quarterbacks. Like if I'm them and I like one of those quarterbacks, I'm staying there and picking them. But then
Mm.
also the Jets and the Giants, but not for trading with Carolina, for a team that wants to jump Carolina because the Jets are picking again at 10, the Giants are picking again at 7. So you still have both those teams still have top 10 picks to get around one of the guys that they want, or if they have like 13 guys that they would say, hey, we'd be fine taking here with a top 10 selection. What if one of those teams wanted to move back so that another quarterback needed team, maybe my Steelers, the Washington football team? Um, I don't think Philadelphia will. New Orleans, though, definitely. Um, One of those teams could easily try to make a big money move up there. Because, like, dude, if you have two top 10 picks, especially in this draft class, I'd be looking to trade down. If I'm a rebuilding team,
Mm.
give me those draft assets.
Yeah, I guess unless you want two absolute studs, if you can find them.
So yeah, but I mean, I guess back to the topic at hand, Ben McAdoo and the Panthers. I agree with you. I think the public is overreacting a little bit. We've seen a lot of successful coordinators fail as head coaches and then go back to being successful coordinators just because of the fact that, dude, when you're the head coach, you don't really get to be that straight up coordinator. It's a completely different ball game to what got you in the position, right? Because all of a
Yeah,
sudden you go from just having to manage your side of the ball and you have a lot of like you're the CEO of the offense, right? It's your offense. You get if you want a new play, hey, it's in. Well, a lot of these guys you're expected to be as a head coach also play a little bit of GM. Oh, you got to bring in your staff. Oh, you got to be a scout. Oh, you got to do this. Obviously, it changes, right? You look at a team like the Chiefs. The Chiefs have a good setup with Andy Reid where they say, and we're going to give you the team, and he's happy with the guys that he gets. He doesn't have a ton of say in the team, and he doesn't give a fuck. He's just like, listen, I'm going to show up, and the guys that I have on my team are my team, and he's going to go out there and just run the team, right? Okay, that works. But some of these other teams, you're not able to do that. And the Giants could have very well been one of those places where they were asking Ben Matt, because what if Tom Coughlin was like that? What if Tom Coughlin was the guy that just had his fingers in every part of the organization? Well, they might
yeah,
have just expected McAdoo to do that, and he wasn't able to.
maybe.
And you're
I
right;
mean,
like he's had some success.
yeah, the last coach to take the Giants to the playoffs, and they were 11-5 that year, and they were looking like a dark horse in the playoffs until the boat pick.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to see because that really stinks if you're the Panthers not having that second round selection because that would be 38, and they don't have their third either. I don't think.
The hell happened to it?
They traded shit
They
around.
traded?
Yeah, well, I
Oh,
know
dude,
they
no, Darnold.
did what was I'm not sure. I know the second was the Darnold deal. Was the third? I know they traded for Gilmore, right? They went in for Gilmore.
Yeah. Wow. They tried to go
Um
all in, huh?
yeah, they got a little penisy. They definitely got a little penisy. Let's see. Did they have an extra fourth? Um no, they moved up a couple spots in the fourth. They have two fifths I'm seeing. So they have their day 3 picks. But yeah, then no second and third. That's a really weird spot because you just don't really have a ton of ammunition to move up if you wanted to. So it looks like from the
Yeah.
outside, unless you want to trade your draft picks next year, um, you might be staying at 6 and just taking BPA and hoping for a quarterback. I mean, I guess the other question is too, though, is that what's going to be happening in free agency with isn't it this like a relatively weak free agency quarterback scenario? But there might be a lot of guys on the trade block.
Yeah, I think you never know. No, like Derek Carr's name could be bounced around out there. I think. No.
So okay,
Uh,
let me see who's going to be projected to be available. Andy Dalton, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Jameis potentially, Teddy
Okay.
Bridgewater, Mariota, Flacco, Trubisky. So it's not like you're necessarily Josh Rosen.
Had a great year this year. He did.
Dwayne
He was
Haskins.
fantastic.
Yeah, this
Future.
isn't exactly a quarterback free agent class that you're, getting on your knees and praying you get one of these guys.
Yeah, you're not. And oh, like, well, like quarterbacks never go up for free agency anymore because if they're good, the team just extends them.
Yeah,
They're like,
basically.
yeah, like, dude, you're pretty fucking good. You play the most important position on the field. Here's 38 million. Like, here you go. I
Fuck.
mean, like, listen, fucking Matt Ryan's name could be thrown out there. I don't think he's going anywhere, but he's a guy on the trade block. Well, not personally, but like the rumors are going to be that he's on the trade block. I think Derek Carr, maybe Baker. Um, trying to think of another quarter, maybe Goff.
You keep
What if
saying
the
Derek Carr.
Lions
Is that is
flip?
that so- is that a thing? I haven't heard about that.
I don't know. I'm just I'm thinking.
No, I think Derek Carr's staying in LA. I think he's gonna be
I don't
there.
know, but like there's going to be players on the trade block, maybe like Derek Carr. Like, but
What if Big Ben
so
decides to suit up and go to
yeah,
Carolina?
when a Big Ben's like, fuck it, dude, I'm coming back. Carolina Panthers, let's go.
I'm
That would just be
handpicking the
so
team with
random.
probably the worst offensive line that needs a quarterback. Hell yeah, baby.
DJ Moore's out there somewhere. Uh, I'm trying to think of another. What if the Lions flip Goff? Could they trade Goff to Carolina? Does
Yeah,
Carolina even
you're
have
going
enough
from
assets
Darnold
to
to
give up?
Goff. You really think that fan base is gonna like Matt Rule when you're going from Darnold to fucking Goff?
I mean, they already don't like him.
Yeah, but how do you get a fan base to slightly like you again? You do the Matt Nagy strat and you draft a quarterback. That'll get you another season.
He'll buy you a couple weeks. He'll buy you a couple weeks for sure until you're forced to play that rookie, and the rookie just isn't ready.
Well, yeah, you'll at
But
least
like
get like a
that's the
week or two of people saying like Matt Nagy did something good for once. It's like, oh, well,
yeah
Matt Rule did
yeah.
something
You'll be
good for
happy for a couple weeks. Yeah,
once.
he'll be happy for a couple weeks, and then until it ultimately goes bad, and the Thirds go 5-12 again next year, and everybody's like, oh god.
Dude, I don't know. I'm
Well,
still
the
on
thing
Matt Rule.
is,
I still like Matt Rule. I still think he's
I think
good.
he's fine. Listen. The defense is there for the Panthers. It's there to win.
Yeah, I
It's,
agree.
it's the
Like
fucking offense.
to
That offense is terrible, and it's not. Their playmakers are good. And they need to beef up the line, okay, but it comes down to quarterback. They don't have quarterback play.
well,
That is
yeah,
their thing.
we had kind of said, or at least I did coming into the season, that to me, the Carolina Panthers remind me of the Raiders 2 years ago, where this is a good team, and they even got off to the hot start, and they beat a couple of like I mean, I think looking back, it's not as good of wins, but like they played well,
Oh
and that
no, dude.
defense looked great. But obviously things fell apart, and that offense is trash. But figure out that one side of the ball, you get some guys healthy on your that's it. That could easily be a top. This is going to be. They have the potential to be a top five defense in the league. I don't think they currently are or necessarily will be. I think it's much more likely that they're like a top 10, 12 unit in the league, but they
Yeah, I
have the
think so.
potential and they have some of the pieces in place. That is a very good defense.
Yeah, especially once JC comes back too. But now, like ultimately looking back to the turning point of the Panthers, and this is before they started 30-0 this season. It happened with the Sam Darnold trade. Now, let me put you into this little aspect here. They took a flyer on Sam Darnold, and you paid more money because of it, right? And you paid because of it because you have to give up draft picks. Why the hell you just keep your draft picks? Then at 8, you go, Matt Jones is probably going to be there. If not, Trey Lance, I'm just going to take one of those guys. Boom, you have a young quarterback. So even if you're struggling, you could just blame it on the young quarterback, be like growing pains. But you got something to work with. Like Sam Darnold proven, like You gave him a second chance, but he proved he could play in the league. And if Matt Jones, you draft Matt Jones right at 8, then you could just go into next season not worried about like finding a quarterback. I feel like they just hit the reset button 2 years, for something they could have figured out last year.
Yeah, the thing is, I think J.C. Horn's a good player, so I really don't.
No, I agree with that. I agree, but who's more valuable? Who's more valuable right now? J.C. Horn or Matt Jones?
Everyone will agree with you, and I think that I probably would have drafted Mac Jones, but I still think that J.C. Horn was a top 5 pick level player.
It's still a great pick. Yeah, it's still a great pick. I'm not notching
I don't
J.C.
think
Horn.
they set themselves
I'm just
back
saying.
2 to 3 years. I think that
I don't know.
They
dude.
could.
This is not like we're hitting the home run of quarterback classes right here at first
Yeah,
glance.
but it only takes one. It only takes one, and if they nail this quarterback,
that's true.
If they nail this quarterback, and I think
just,
they have a little bit of cap space available, just try and beef up that offense as much as you can with every dollar you have.
What if Matt Rule secretly goes into ownership and he's like, "Listen, we're tanking this year. We're going at least 1-16, but do not fire me because I want that one pick so I can just pick up Bryce Young." Like now, why waste a pick on a quarterback next year when you could just try to get Bryce Young?
Yeah, the thing is that I think that Matt Rule is like just good at developing players. I think that's all right. So they're like middle of the park in cap space. Nothing crazy, but nothing horrible at the same time. They're gonna have some cash to go and get some players. Go beef up that offense. Every fucking dollar. All right. I think that's going to do it from us here. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Subscribe on the YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram at 3rd and 20, or on Twitter, and at 3rd and 20 podcast on Instagram. So thank you so much for watching. Peace out.